All right, I have some extraordinarily disturbing video to play for you. This is a new interview with, again, I guess, former Trump fraud lawyer Sidney Powell. You might remember that whether she was even Trump's lawyer is like a subject of debate. She was having meetings in the Oval Office, which certainly signals a connection to Donald Trump. At the same time, the Trump campaign at one point put out a statement when she went really bonkers, saying she's working on her own. We still don't really have answers to that, but she's delivered some very strange interviews recently. Sidney Powell has now given an interview in which she drags Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito into the January 6th mess. The claim that she makes is that part of the point of the January 6th riots was to delay things enough that Samuel Alito would be able to intervene and somehow give the election to Trump. I mean, you know how these things are. It's always like, well, exactly how, it's not clear. She gave an interview on the Stu Peters show. This is not a program I'm familiar with, but her claim, if she's right, this is the most extreme premeditated criminality, including the highest levels of power that maybe we've ever seen. If she's making it up, she probably needs a psych eval. I mean, I don't, to be totally honest, I don't really know which of the two it is. But let's take a look at this. Here is the interview. Let's listen to Sidney Powell. The audio quality is terrible. The video quality is terrible. But let's do our best to try to really understand what it is she's claiming here.
Heard untold election case.
Yes, we were filing a 12th Amendment constitutional challenge to the process that the Congress was about to use under the Electoral Act provisions that simply don't jive with the 12th Amendment to the United States Constitution. And Justice Alito was our circuit justice for that. Louis Gohmert was the plaintiff in our lawsuit. And we were suing the vice president to follow the 12th Amendment as opposed to the Electoral Count Act, or Electoral College Act. So that was the main point. And Nancy Pelosi had finagled to file an amicus brief in it. There'd been inside goings on in Congress whereby I believe it was Steve Scalise and McCarthy kept her from being an actual party. She wanted to work her way into the case as a party, but somehow politically that didn't happen. But so she got notice when we made our filing because she wanted to file an amicus brief or had filed an amicus brief. And then
now, if you're confused, the guy on the left looks as confused as you and I probably are. I'll try to explain what she's talking about in a second. Although, again, if these are just her delusions, there is no explanation.
Everything broke loose and she had to really speed up reconvening Congress to get the vote going before Justice Alito might have issued an injunction to stop it all, which is what should have happened.
Okay. So the gist of what she seems to be saying here is that the idea of the riot was to create a delay so that you could get a particular amicus, or as she says, amicus brief to the Supreme Court with the idea that Samuel Alito, again, I'm trying to interpret what a crazy person's saying, but the idea is Samuel Alito would be able to do something and then Trump becomes president, I guess, or something like that. But they didn't anticipate that Nancy Pelosi would so quickly reconvene on January 6th, late, really early January 7th. It was kind of the middle of the night, technically January 7th for much of it, and move forward. And that's what interfered with this. Now, if this is true, and Alito knew that this was the expectation or, said okay, it would be an incredible conspiracy at the absolute highest level. It would have all been premeditated if Powell is to be believed. Samuel Alito should be impeached. Okay. It also might just be completely made up. And I'm going to be very honest with you. It almost seems more likely to me. I mean, Sidney Powell lies all the time, and she might be making all of this up, and that's its own problem. And that would be one possibility. Now, the third possibility is she believes this stuff, but it's not true. Like, she's actually delusional. And if that's the case, you're really talking psych eval. I mean, I'm going to be totally frank. That's what it is. So if what she says is true, it would be grounds for impeaching Samuel Alito potentially. If it's a lie, then she's really a crazy liar who's willing to just make up anything. And if she believes it, but it's completely imaginary, it's kind of a sad mental health sort of situation. Let's go to one more clip. This is funny because this is now the interviewer, and I'm trying to figure out, like, what is he's trying to explain what Sidney Powell, I guess, said, and it's like it's even more confusing. Let's listen.
The coup, why Nancy Pelosi had to hurry on January 6th. According to Powell, on the very day of January 6th, there was a one last-ditch legal effort that might have stopped the certification of disputed electoral states by the Congress, a legal challenge to the Electoral Count Act, a 130-year-old law that governs the actual electoral college process. Now, this law gives both the House and Senate explicit roles in evaluating electoral slates, even though the 12th Amendment to the Constitution only gives the House a role in choosing the president.
Okay, so this is a part of what they've been pushing, which is only the House should be picking the president. Like, the Senate shouldn't even have been involved on January 6th. This is another one of these. It's sort of like, if I misspell my name, I'm not taxable. Like, that was a whole movement at one. It's that type of movement, and Stu Peters seems to be sort of explaining that.
The Senate, as we know, is only involved in choosing a vice president.
Right.
So Powell brought a lawsuit to overturn that law, but only filed it the afternoon of January 6th while a bunch of people were trampling
Would have been something to think about sooner, right?
through the Capitol in what later would be referred to as the Great Insurrection.
Yeah.
Now, that insurrection might have played to her advantage by delaying the final resolution of the election, but then Nancy Pelosi one-upped her by reconvening Congress and finishing the tally in the middle of the night. The next day, Supreme Court Justice Alito dismissed the case, but according to Powell, it might have been different if that election wasn't already over.
So I guess he's just explaining, if I'm understanding him correctly, my understanding of what Sidney Powell is claiming is accurate. It doesn't make what Sidney Powell is claiming any more true. So who knows what the truth is? Maybe Powell increasingly thinks she's going down and she's seeing who can I take down with me? If I implicate Alito, maybe it helps me in some way. The bigger picture is the more we learn, the more premeditated this might have been on January 6th, allegedly involving more and more parties. Whether any individual claim is true, honestly, I don't know, because the people involved are so dishonest. Rudy, Jenna Ellis, Sidney Powell, Trump himself, Bannon. If these people had their way, the U.S. would be a complete and total theocracy, an authoritarian Christian theocracy. That's actually what we're fighting against here. One of our sponsors is Aura. Think about all of your online accounts, finances, your devices. How are you protecting them? Hacking, data breaches, identity theft. These are bigger issues now than they've ever been before. Aura is a new type of security service. It protects your online data, your internet connection, your devices with one subscription. You'll be alerted to fraud and threats quickly. Like if your online accounts or passwords were leaked, or if someone tried to open a bank account in your name, with an easy online dashboard and alert sent straight to your phone, Aura keeps you in control and guides you through solving any issues. All plans come with a $1 million identity theft insurance to help recover stolen funds. So if you want to secure your online presence from hackers and scammers, check out Aura. You'll get 40% off all plans when you go to aura.com/Pacman. The link is right underneath this video.